With the excitement of the Fairy Tail Season 3, we finally get the visual. Now we get to talk about all the juicy details about what's happening with the production of the anime, who's going to be involved, are we going to be having some of the same composers and directors that we had from the last season? Well, we're going to find out right now, as we was able to get some details about when this finally came out, and they've been translated to know exactly who we're going to be having on staff for this adaptation. So it's we know already and all that like Hiro Mashima is also going to be credited in this and all that. So I think it's safe to assume that he is going to be involved in the anime. He is going to be showing probably maybe some additional scenes or anything like that. Same thing that pretty much happened with season 2 and Ozzy as well, just growing from like Ozzy the original manga. The director is going to be Ishidaira Shinji, who is the same director that did Fairy Tail Season 2. Now, for a lot of people, I think that's like kind of mixed on there, because a lot of people was expecting like, oh, we're going to go back there, because there was a huge divide with people that really liked Fairy Tail's old art style and the 2014. Personally, like 2014 one kind of evolved into what Fairy Tail eventually looked like. Like there's a huge art style change that kind of evolved. Like it kind of stopped around about, I'd like to say, Relation Seis. It was right about that point where like the art style kind of changed, and to be fair, it fully melded when it was into the Grimoire Heart, like kind of the Tenor Island arc. That was kind of like where I think the art style pretty much evolved from, and we saw that kind of happen in those last kind of seasons of that version of the anime. And then it completely changed Ozzy for season 2, and it's such a drastic overhaul. And a lot of that had to do with Ozzy new character designers, and also as well where they wanted to take it with directing and everything. So with this, I'm fine with that. Like, I think there were some good episodes. My only thing was that I noticed a lot during the last, mainly during Taurus, was where I felt a lot of the show had like some issues with some of the how some of the scenes were being put together, how they were being conveyed and stuff like that. But generally and all that, like it depends on everyone. I think it's not just up to the director, like even still and all that, but it's up to the director to pick out the people that he can get. Also as well, when they're which we obviously know that they're going to be sending this like overseas and all that, to have like other animators work on this and all that. This isn't just going to be A1 working on this. But with the series composition, we have Togawa Seishi, which someone as well and all that is like, I hadn't been too familiar with his works and all that, with what we've seen, but he's another person that was working on season 2 on the like when that was kind of happening. So honestly, when it came to like most of the same people that we were going to be getting for this season, like for this adaptation, this was something I was like, yeah, no, this is someone that I kind of want on here and all that. If they knew already how to handle the series and handle a lot of like the animation and stuff like that, and when also everything else, like, 'cause it all is a giant just interconnected like gears that just needed to all work together. And it's like, if this is someone on here that was like worked on that, I'm fine. Now here's something that's kind of interesting with character designs. We've got 2 people involved in there, which is the original, which is Shinji Takeuchi and Satohiko Sano are going to be on the character designs. Originally for season 2 it was Takeuchi behind this, which, you know, we was kind of controversial. Was like, wow, he changed a lot of the character designs and they look really different and all that, which honestly I'm fine with. They made them look more like as we talked about, the original season. Interesting how there's going to be 2 of them on there, so I'm wondering how they are going to be designing some characters. I don't personally know if a lot of these people were on the character design wise and all that were on board when it was the Dragon Cry, because the visual does look a little bit like Dragon Cry in some areas, with like especially how like their hairstyle, I think, is and all that, by the detail and all that. Like, until we see a fully animated preview, which we will see and all that, since it's going to be 3 months until we wait for like the anime to come out, we will be seeing one sometime soon. It's going to be a mix and all that, where it's like, I think we're going to be seeing stuff from Dragon Cry, like, incorporated and all that, how they had some of the characters were slightly changed a little bit in that, but like, wasn't so drastic from season 2. Then, when we've got from the sound director, we have Hatosho on here, which that's honestly I'm I'm fine with and all that. I don't personally know who this person is and all that for the most part. However, would you believe who was back the music? And it was something that was like, no shit for the most part and all that is that Takanashi is going to be back on there. Although, like, on this list on that, they have him as Koji Takanashi and not, like, his actual, like, name, which is Yasuharu. So, wondering what's going on with that, or, like, maybe it might be saying that two people might be working on this and on that. Like, how it's, like, being written up and all that by the, on there, but I'm presuming on there, considering that Takanashi worked in Dragon Cry, he worked on Season 2, he worked on Season 1, if that is a difference that's changing on there, that would be concerning. However, I'd like to point out, Takanashi is working on Boruto right now. He is working on Kengan Ashura, which hasn't come out yet. I know he's working on that. There is like 2 other series I think at the moment he is he's composing a lot of series' soundtracks right now. But I'm going to presume when it says Koji Takanashi, like on there on the Twitter, when they announce this and all that, that is Yasuharu Takanashi. So yeah, more tracks like if it was changed like that, it's gonna be that's gonna be the one thing where it's like they need him back. Like generally, I think like the music is one of the most stellar things from season 2. I know a lot of people really like a lot of the season 1 soundtrack, but it's the one thing where I think season 1 has obviously some memorable main themes and tracks and all that. I think season 2 with some of its battle tracks blow season 1's like stuff out of the water, and I really like some of the remixes they did to the Dragon Cry. They had some really good stuff on there, but they had some stellar stuff and all that, especially as well when they talk. When I think of more like kind of like obviously yeah, he's not responsible for any of the openings and endings, but like when I think of just music in general from Fairy Tail, when I'm thinking of the OST, and I'm thinking as well of just what songs they got to bring for the series and all that, is like season 2, like I love a lot of season 1 openings, but it's like, man, season 2 really blew out the water with some of the stuff on there. Like it had some amazing stuff added onto there. But one thing to end off with, the anime production, A1 Pictures and Studio Bridge are going to be working on this. Now Studio Bridge are the same people that were the Helper Studio. They were the second team that was working on this series, which pretty much means by what a lot of people can tell about this is that, yeah, we are going to be having Bridge is going to be doing quite a bit of it. They're going to be handling a lot of the work, because at the same time we are going to be having Sword Art Online Season 3, and that is more of their priority right now. Obviously they're going to be having some of the animators working on the same time. This is going to be a longer series, I'm pretty sure, than Sword Art Online. I'm sure with Sword Art Online Season 3, they're probably going to do the more clever thing, and they're going to have that come out for 24 episodes, take a break, come back, animate the rest of this, and then they're going to be focusing on this, because A1 does work on a lot of series. So the fact that they're at that Fairy Tail was really their last big adaptation that they were really doing. Other than that, like, they were always really trying to keep more towards 12 to 24 episodes. I don't really remember a show the last time that they really went all out on when it came to like something where it's like, we want a very long ongoing, because that's just how a lot of shows are nowadays, is that it makes more sense and it's a lot more logical for like the studio and the staffing and all that, where it's like we can just have a lot more of the higher quality series, and also as well how like that with pacing, if that's on. Like we have something a similar, like, look at One Piece. It's been going on for like 800 episodes now. Look at the quality. It has been mainly on a downward spiral ever since. I know some people say there are some really good episodes here and there for like the whole Kick arc, but it's like it's generally been downward, and everyone can pretty much agree with you that the manga is clearly superior on there. Overall, yeah, that is all the news that we've got so far in the animation when it's coming on here. But so yeah, the director is going to be the same thing with character designer. We're going to be having a new one on board with there. With hopefully with that news and all that, like Takanashi, that means we're going to be having him back on there. Although it did specifically say, yeah, like Koji, so I'm going to treat that in this video as a mistranslation on his name, unless he's changed it recently. But it's like, you are going to expect Season 2, and that means all the good things and bad things from Season 2, where I think the character models and all that were always normally really great. However, there were a lot of stiffness in Season 2. That was the one thing I remember, where it was like, here's a giant punch, and then let's stay on the panel for like 6 seconds or something. Like, you're gonna get stuff like that, where it's like, it loses some of the impact that you get from the manga. But then again, I'm in the same opinion where it's like, I am happy that this is getting animated. No matter what and all that, I felt like I always get bummed out that series never gets its proper wrap up, and you can tell that A1 does love this series and that it does well for them, whereas like we clearly want to bring it back. Now we have to talk about, though, like with that, it's like, again, I have addressed the situation when it comes to the content of this arc, when it talks about the final arc. I am not looking forward to some of the stuff that's going to be appearing, because these two arcs that they're going to be adapting are my least favorite in Fairy Tail. I think Avatar's the worst one. I generally think Avatar's the worst arc in Fairy Tail. It is really fucking just nothing. It is just boring, and it just was a huge underwhelming moment for like what we had. However, there are some great moments in the last arc, but it overall has a lot of issues on there, and I'm just being 100% honest with you, and that's someone who owns the whole fucking manga. Like, I generally care for this series, but I can't let bias grab me where it's like, I really hope that they do change some scenes and that they work around stuff, because stuff in the manga has issues at this point. However, I want them to keep some of those amazing moments and some of those great fights, like from we addressed. And we've got to talk now about the episode listing as well for this, because it hasn't been talked about yet, but the last chapter that they adapted was chapter 419, I believe, of the manga. That was the last one that they went through, and the last episode covered the rest of chapter 417, and then in 419, and 418 was the, I believe it was like the one of the other ones that they did beforehand, but this was like covering some of the Guild Art stuff as well that they had. Now, we've got 126 chapters, if my brain could do math right on there, doing 419 plus 126, that should equal up to 545 chapters. Question is though, are they going to touch the sequel stuff? Because there are 2 chapters out right now in Raw for a 100-year quest. We don't know how long that's going to be. We don't know what's going to be happening really with that one. I know this. I know the whole kind of like whole premise about it. It sounds fucking insane from what they're kind of addressing it. I will say that they're going to just do the ending of the original manga. They're going to adapt that, and I don't know if we're gonna get a 100-year quest. I don't know what's going to happen with that, because again, it just came out. We have seen the adaptations of some of the spin-off material. Fairy Tail Zero, even though canon, yes, that did get adapted into Season 2. We have seen obviously the spin-off chapters being turned into OVAs. However, we have not seen anime adaptation for Road Knight. We haven't seen the Sabretooth stuff, I believe, hasn't been touched yet, even though we did have Sabretooth stuff as filler on there. I believe that was just its own spin-off chapter. We've missing obviously, like, I don't think we're going to see the Wendy stuff. It would be interesting if they adapt the Grey manga, but Fairy Girl, like, that's where I feel like if we've got 126 chapters, rounding that up and all that, that's 2 years worth of content. We're probably going to get 50 episodes. It's probably going to be around about a year long run time. We're going to be getting that, unless they want to try and adaptate some of that stuff. I don't think we're going to be getting filler arcs. We might be having in-canon filler moments, as I said, where they're going to be changing some scenes around. So, generally, like, they did that for some of the Tara stuff, and honestly, some of it came out a little bit better because of that. Like, the most drastic one I felt like was the Laxus moment, kind of like was a little bit more better than how it was in the manga. So, yeah, we'll wait and see, honestly, generally, what they're going to be doing with some of that stuff on there, because, yeah, Alvarez is very disappointing to me. And it had some nice moments here and there, and I feel like the one fight that they nailed was the one fight I kind of... one of the fights I wanted to make sure that it was like, please don't fuck this up, and that's the Natsu and Zeref one. I can't say any more about that, otherwise that is going to be a huge spoiler, but that is the only one I will defend out of the final arc, where it's like, I am satisfied with that and how that concluded. The final fight, no. Absolutely not. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've all got on there, and let me know what you guys think. With the chapters that we got left, with the animator, with the composer, with the like designer, with the music, we've got pretty much everything we need to know right now about this anime. The only other thing is, when are we going to get more visuals? When are we going to get an anime promo? Because I know you guys have been like asking, where is it now? So hopefully when the chapters of 100 Year Quest get translated, we'll be covering that. Same thing with Eden Zero. It is going to be a very busy time for the for the translators and stuff like that. So I'd ask that, I know like a lot of us are getting impatient and want to see them, so I would ask them to be like that. If not, if it's too much for you, then you can wait for the official release, as like you can always get it on Crunchyroll, as I do as well. So like, wait until then, I'd say, and all that, if you can't wait for like a fan translation or anything like that. That's all from me. Thanks always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.